Alright, so now we're going to attach that. I want to kind of quickly go over some of my methodology here. So as you add detail to a character later on, one of the things you want to try to stay away from is adding detail in areas in one area and having that detail appear in areas that you might not want it later on. So here's an example. If I went to add any edge loops in the legs, what I would want to do is add them so they would complement detail here in the face or the head. So that's why I made the head the way I did, because if you look at it, let's say I inserted an edge loop. I'll just give you an example. I'll put one here. That goes all the way down, yada yada yada. But there in no area, let's say I insert an edge loop here. Notice it didn't go into the face at all. It went into the ear. Well, I can always use detail in the ear or hide detail later on, or take that area and decimate it down in that area, and nobody would ever know. But again, I don't want it to go into the facial area, because the facial area detail should go this way on the mesh, not this way on the mesh. Okay, so hopefully that kind of clears up why this thing is so low poly, and those are some of the things I'm aiming for. So if you look at this whole theme, I got this edge loop that goes all the way down the character into this area, and that's the area that I want to keep that in. So that's where I want to put this leg, or at least that edge loop of that leg. Okay, first off, let's lop some of this stuff off. I don't need the heads anymore, but I'm just going to kind of put them off to the side because I might need them for the arm. Okay, just like that. And I'm just going to lop this off. It's so much easier to deal with it that way. And generally kind of place this in this area. And I'm hopping between my front and my side view like a demon here. So this edge loop right here, I definitely want it to be somewhere in this general area. Sometimes this is easier to do in the perspective view. Oh, and I need to chop out the top of this too. Selection tool works good for this because of the area that you're in. The transform tool could get in the way. Get that out of there. Then V to move that into place. So I know that that's the one I want it to connect to. And I'm just kind of moving this stuff to match that edge loop structure. Now, some of the things that you might not want to do, here I'm doing it myself. You might not want to, let's say, take this and move it over to this one, because that will add a little bit of a torque here in this bottom part of the mesh, and it'll always be there. It'll be hard to work out and sculpt. So I'd rather put it here, and then maybe look at deleting an edge loop, which I can't do because this is the extraordinary vertice, or adding an edge loop. In this case, I'll add an edge loop down here. So that's why I was talking about, you know, always choose your battles wisely. Here's another one. So eventually I know I'm going to have to put an edge loop here in the eyes. It's just going to have to happen. I'd like to have that later on, not now. So I might choose to get rid of an edge loop down here. Let's see. Okay, now if I moved this to here, will that present any challenge? Well, it might. If you're going to go with a nude model, it would probably present a challenge for the butt. Okay, here's a way to do this. C. Okay, get it near the area, hit C, and that will snap this to an edge. Okay, it's a little tricky to do. There's no doubt about it. If I attach this one to here, will that present a problem? Not really. That one will not present a problem, and I could get rid, or at least put an area or edge loop in this area and get rid of this one altogether. So that's probably a good area for that. The legs are kind of tricky when it comes down to it, because you have a couple choices, you know, nude character versus like character wearing clothes. Nobody's really give a crap if there's topology in this area if it was a closed model, because you can just get rid of that. But if it's a nude model, yeah, that presents a whole other thing. Now, very important to know that these meshes haven't been combined. So if I went to go inserting edge loops on the legs right now, I would have to do that a couple different times, and I don't like doing that either. So I might join those here in a second before I go inserting edge loops on the legs themselves. This one, I definitely want to attach it to here. This is my midpoint. And I just want to move that there. Okay, again, if I move this one to here, is that going to present problems? Yes, yes it will. Moving this one to here, however, good idea. Here, future edge loop. Here's good. Future edge loop thought of. Future edge loop thought of. And there we go. We got I think a nice structure for that. Alright, let's attach those legs together. The top and bottom of the leg here. Let's grab faces. And then I'm just going to go Control, click and drag, and that will leave the faces there in the center highlighted. Delete those out. I can grab all the vertices, and then I can go Edit Mesh Merge. And what'll happen is it might not give me the merge points right away, but if I went to Edit Mesh Merge, square box, let me get that square box out of here, and then put the threshold up a little bit. And this is a really tricky way to do it. Another thing you could do is this. Let me do this a little easier. If I scale these close, it's so much better to merge them that way and take down that merge. A good way to do that is reset settings. So they're merged, and I could test that in several different ways. Control R is a good way for like inserting an edge loop. If I can insert an edge loop this way and it goes all the way across, they are merged correctly. Alright, now I look at which edge loops can I get rid of. Can I get rid of this edge loop? Nope, because of that ear. It's on the corner there. Can I get rid of the middle edge loop? Yes, I could, but then it would destroy my midline of the character going this way. So in this case, I have no choice but to insert an edge loop on the leg. So those are the things I think of as I'm trying to decide whether to keep an edge loop or get rid of an edge loop. Okay, let's see. Eventually I would have to put something in this area. Let's try to insert an edge loop, see what happens. That's going to fall right in the middle of the eye. It's going to add a lot of detail in this area already. That's something I don't really want to do, and I know it's going to happen on the next level anyway. So I'm going to delete this edge loop. And I know that's kind of weird to think of because now the character is going to be flat on the front, but that's something that's just going to happen. Control right click. Make sure that this doesn't connect into the back at all. Do that by jumping into the perspective view. You can see that if I would have chosen to get rid of this right off the bat, it's perfect on both sides. I'm getting rid of this one, which is a problem, and get rid of that one is a problem. Control right click, two edge loop, and delete. Perfect. I know he's very flat in the front, but again, the first level of subdivide will fix that right up. Alright, what about this area? You can see that by inserting an edge loop there, it corrected the problem on the other side, so that's good. I'll just snap that to this one. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is open an area on the foot because I don't want it to carry on the edge loop to the other side. So in this case, I'll Control R, insert an edge loop for this one, and I do want one for the other side. Again, this area is kind of tricky if you're going to go for the nude model type of deal. So I do want some extra edge loops there. Alright, there we go. So now I could just combine these together. Jump into my front view. Grab those. Merge. And test that out. Always test. So Control R. Should be able to insert an edge loop. Yep, goes all the way around the model. Good. So I'll save this scene as 6, and then I'll show you how to mirror it in the next video.